I remember when I was like 9, 10 years old, I used to tell my cousins that one day I'm going to play for Pakistan. Hard work was the key. Like I was very hardworking. I used to, play 3, 4 hours a day. There are more bad days than good days in sports. In the bad times, we have to be patient. And in the good times, we have to stay humble. When I didn't got picked, everyone was like coming to me and feeling bad for me, and I was the one who was smiling. I was like, no worries. And I knew one thing, that if there is one more spot available, I told them that I'll get that spot, and then it happened. If you work hard, you will get the results for it. Right? No matter early, late, if it is supposed to happen, it will happen. But you have to work hard to get it.
Welcome to the Winners Club podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Wilson, and today I'm here with professional cricket player for the Texas Super Kings, Muhammad Mohsin. Muhammad, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to get into your mindset and also what it's like being a professional athlete, but first I want to hear about your journey to become a professional athlete. So let's start from the beginning. What are your first memories playing cricket?
Cricket has been like my go-to game since childhood. I remember when I was a kid, 6, 7 years old, I used to play with my dad in the home and my uncles in the home. I started playing tape ball cricket when I was like 11, 12 years old. And then growing up, I played my first under-19 competition in 2009. And then my first, you can say, senior district tournament in 2013. And then I did my debut in first-class cricket in 2015 and then onward.
When did you have the desire to go pro? Was that from the beginning?
Yeah, I remember when I was like this 9, 10 years old, I used to tell my cousins that one day I'm going to play for Pakistan, That was the dream since like childhood. And I had like whatever hard work I did, I had that thing in mind that I need to, work hard enough to play for Pakistan. And I used to watch almost every cricket game, like not only Pakistan, but every international cricket game. I used to know what time it's going to be, what day it's going to be. Like the whole year, I used to remember the schedule, and I used to watch almost every game. So that thing was from childhood, yeah.
And I heard you would wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. in the middle of the night to watch games.
Yeah, when Pakistan would be playing Australia or in West Indies, so the time difference was such that the games would be coming live 5 a.m., 3 a.m. And I used to sneak out from the room pretending to be sleeping, but come out and put the TV on mute so no one, wakes up. And I used to watch almost every game and every ball of it. I would try to not even miss a single ball. That's how crazy I was for cricket. So yeah, that was the story.
And you reached the professional level pretty early at 19. What do you think you did differently from other athletes to reach the professional level so early?
Yeah, in Pakistan, if you see, almost half the population play cricket. So it's very tough even to, make it to the district teams. There's a lot of talent, a lot of people work really hard for it. So it was a tough task, but I think the thing is, if you are talented and then you work hard, it does, make you reach some level. And hard work was the key. I was very hardworking. I used to, play 3, 4 hours a day and enjoy it. Cricket was my sport, so I used to enjoy it and play a lot. So that helped me. And then maybe you can say that mentality of having that goal set very high. Right. So I strive for that, and then all these under 19s and these levels become easier for me. I can't say easy, but yeah, I did achieve them then. Yeah.
And the hard work did pay off. You made it to the pro level. How was that first match, and how was that first season as a pro?
So the first class game I played in 2015, I remember when I came to bowl, I literally, I was so nervous, the pressure is there. All these international players are playing against you. Your first game, everyone is expecting you. All eyes are on you that, what this new kid gonna do, So I literally could not feel the ball in my hand for the first couple of balls. Then it calmed down, and then it was a good game. I took 1 wicket in it. I bowled 11, 12 overs in that. And then in the batting, my first scoring shot is a 6. Okay. So that was interesting as well. And then from there on, it was good. Yeah.
And you moved to the Pakistan Super League. How was that experience?
Yeah, so moving on to Pakistan Super League, before that, the season before that, I got excluded from the Red Bull squad of the of our team, and then I talked to my dad that like I had performed really well last year, and then they have excluded me from the Red Bull squad. So my dad told me that keep working hard. Whatever is in your fate, you will get it. Just keep working hard. Don't get demoralized by it. And I worked really hard. Like I used to tell myself if I'm not getting something, I might need to work more hard for it, right? So that was my mentality at that time. So for the next 2-3 months, I worked really hard. And then when the white ball competition came, like the T20 I played, in the first game I took 4 wickets. I got man of the match. In that tournament, I ended up in being like one of the highest wicket takers. And then my name came in the Pakistan emerging side before the PSL. So Pakistan emerging side were playing Asia Cup in Bangladesh. I went there. I took 4 wickets again in my first game. Got man of the match in my debut for Pakistan. In any form of the game. And from then I got selected in the PSL. So PSL came like after a bit of struggle, a bit of more hard work, and then performing and coming into the PSL. And PSL was an amazing experience because PSL was like an international brand. All I think wherever cricket is watched, everyone know PSL, everyone watch PSL. So that was kind of a breakthrough moment in my life as well. I met all these greats of cricket, Darren Sammy, Hashim Amla, all these guys were part of the camp. Darren Sammy was the captain, and then Hashim Amla was our batting consultant. And we had these newcomers in those days coming, Tom Benton, Liam Livingston, who just played yesterday against India. So all these guys were coming. So we had a very good environment in Peshawar Zalmi camp. And I think that had helped me become a very better version of myself, that PSL experience.
You did mention you played for the Pakistan national team. You achieved your dream. That was a goal from the beginning. What was your favorite moments from playing with the Pakistan national team?
The best memory was like I got man of the match on my debut game, right?
On the debut? Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the debut game. And I remember when I came out of the field, having that man of the match trophy in my hand, I was literally, crying out of joy and out of happiness that I get to play in the Pakistan shirt, and then getting man of the match on that was like a cherry on the cake. And we won that tournament actually, that Asia Cup, Emerging Asia Cup in 2019. We won it for the first time. Pakistan won it for the first time. And all that bunch I played with, I think that all of them were amazing cricketers. Some of them are with me right now in the US. They have moved to US as well. But that whole experience was amazing.
What were some of the biggest lessons you learned?
So yeah, the lesson I learned was like, as a professional athlete, you have to be very patient, because there are more bad days than good days in sports. And then you have to be very patient in those bad days to enjoy your best days. Because if you think too much about the bad days, you overshadow your good days as well. And I think that's the biggest lesson I learned, just to enjoy whatever good you can get from a game and just keep moving on, keep improving, because sports is a process of learning throughout the career. No one can call himself a complete sportsman, because it's always something new come up, and those new situations, like there are million of possibilities of those situations. So you keep learning. Don't get panic when you have a bad day. Just try to forget it and focus on the one game at a time. These are the things I learned in that tour.
And from there, you were drafted by the Texas Super Kings in the MLC. What made you decide to come to the U.S.?
So before the MLC, there is a tournament that happens every year by the name of Houston Open. So back in 2022, I had this tournament, a call up for this tournament for a team that is called Knight Riders. I came for that tournament only, and I used to play in the off season in England, club cricket in England. So my plan was to come here, play this tournament, because it was just a 5-day tournament, and then go to Nottingham, where I used to play club cricket, right? So when I came here, I played that tournament. We won that tournament. I performed really well with the bat and ball as well. And then I came to know that there is a cricket setup here, which is called minor league, and then major league. We used to hear that it will come, right? At that time, there was no major league. There was only minor league. So then a couple of minor league teams approached me, and I then decided to stay here to sign one of the minor league team, Michigan Cricket Stars. And then I had a good season with them, and that's where then this Ace company, who signs those professional cricketers recently all these cricketers like Unmukt, Sami Aslam, all these guys, they signed it recently. So they offered me a contract, and then I decided to stay here and play. And then Major League came last year. And the interesting thing was last year when the Major League draft was happening, so a week before that, they had a trial tournament for the coaches to see the talent over here. And I missed that tournament because of an injury, and the coaches didn't get to see me, and I went unpicked in the draft. And a couple of tournaments before, I was the best bowler. I was like performing very regularly in the last couple of tournaments. But I missed that tournament. I went undrafted, didn't got picked. And then the wildcard draft came 2 months later, and Texas Super King picked me. They had the first pick. They picked me in their first pick. And I was lucky enough to get chance to play the games. And I did perform well in the first game, and then I get to play all the games. And it was an amazing season with them. Texas Super Kings is like a family, a home for me in the US now, because they have taken care of us really nice last year, and this year I got retained. So I'm very excited for this season too with them. Hopefully we do better. Last year we made it to the playoffs, but hopefully we lift the trophy this year.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a bit about your story. So now I want to hear about your mindset. And so first off, are there any practices you do to take care of your mental health? Like, how do you deal with the highs and lows of your sport?
If you have lows, the only way to get out of it is to work hard a little more, like a little extra. If you are practicing 3 days a week, just try to make it one day more, like 4 days a week. And the more you practice, sports is something when you practice it more, because it's all about your muscle memory, right? If you build your muscle memory all right, in the game when you are under pressure, just your muscle memory takes over. Like you feel like nothing is in your control, but that muscle memory take over. So if you had a good practice on your back, it helps you there. And once you get into that groove, and then you are in control. So one thing I have realized throughout my career is whenever I had a downfall, that a little bit of extra practice, a little bit of extra hard work had always helped me. So that's one thing I think the key thing. And the other one is just to be mentally prepared for it, because sports, if you want to be a sports person, as I told you, it has more bad days than good days. So you have to be very, mentally very well prepared for the bad days, and you have to be very patient you have to show patience in those bad days, because it's not gonna be bad days always. The good days will come, and to be honest, even if you have 10 bad games and you have those 2 good games after it, everyone will remember those 2 good games. That's the beauty of it as well. So you have to be very patient. Patience is the key, I guess. Yeah.
Is there anything you do during those bad days? Like things aren't going well, you're not playing good games for 10 games in a row. Like what do you do during that time?
It's different. Sometimes you just stay away from that sports for a while. It helps to reset your memory and everything. Because when you have bad days, you get those nightmares every now and then.
Right.
If you stay away from the sports for a while, like for 2-3 weeks, just go on vacation or just chill with your friends, go out with your friends, and then when you come back, you have a fresh start. One type of coping up with the bad days is this, and the other is, as I told you, work even more hard, be even more hungry about it, be even more crazy about it, that okay, whatever happens, I'm just gonna work even more hard and come back stronger. That is another mentality. And the second one works for me more. Yeah.
I did forget to mention that during all this time when you first became pro, you were also in university too, and you received your degree in computer science. So how did you balance school and professional cricket at that time?
Yeah, I think it's not normal in Pakistan to play professional cricket and study as well, because it's tough. If you want to be a professional cricketer in Pakistan, especially where half of the population plays cricket, you have to give it your all. So people do this, like they when they play at under 16, under 19 level for Pakistan, or at some good level, they leave studies and then they just become a full-time cricketer because they have to.
Right.
Like it's a fact. But from my background, like in my family, everyone is very well educated, right? So for me, if I would have left everything for cricket, I would be the odd one in the family.
Right, okay.
So the good thing was, like, my parents were very supportive, both in letting me play the sports and letting me choose whatever I want to study, right? So computer science was one thing I was very excited about when I was a kid, growing as a kid, and so they let me choose computer science as my majors, and that helped as well, because whenever I used to study, I used to study with excitement, like so I used to study. That makes it easy for me. And then it was difficult playing both because I used to go to the university in the morning, 6 hours of classes and grind, how mentally tough it is. And then when I used to come back, my roommates would used to go to sleep and I used to get my kit bag and go to the academy.
Wow.
For a couple of years, it went like this. And then in university as well, when you become a professional cricketer, I played my first class game while I was in university. Right, so then the teachers know as well that he is a professional, cricketer. So I have a very big respect for my teachers. They had actually helped me as well. I used to miss exams, but they used to rearrange it for me. So that was the royalty I get in the university. And I think it's because of all those, support from family, from teachers, from the people around me who used to push me like, oh, you have the talent, you can do it, so you go for it. Even my roommates, they had almost zero knowledge of cricket, but they always used to push me. Like they used to, encourage me. So all these factors then combined and made me the cricketer I am now.
Right. And also during university, something people might not know is you played basketball. So how did you think basketball helped you as a cricketer, and do you still play some now for fun?
So I used to play not only basketball, I used to play table tennis, badminton, and basketball, soccer, and cricket. Like from grade 5 to grade 10, you can say I used to play these games very regularly, almost on daily basis. But in university, then it's squeezed down to cricket only because cricket was my professional stuff. And then, I used to play basketball whenever we had competition between the universities. So I used to just join them for fun. Yeah.
Okay. Do you still play some now for fun, like just to take your mind off cricket?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes if cricket becomes too much on the mind, then I get to play basketball or whatever game. I'm a sports lover.
Right.
So whatever game I get to play, I try to play it. Yeah.
You seem like you have a great, positive, and uplifting personality. Is that natural, or how do you maintain such a positive attitude?
I think most of it comes from the home itself. Like my parents have always been very positive to me. So one of the positive aspect that my personality has is from them, because whenever I had bad time, they always encouraged me. Like they always gave me positive feedback. They never tell me to leave the sports. If it is that bad, leave the sports, stuff like that. And then when you play sports, you either end up being completely negative or to the positive side. So when I stayed positive during the hard times, that kind of become part of my personality as well, staying positive during the hard times.
Is there something you say to yourself, like maybe during, like in the match or before a match? Do you tell yourself anything, or how do you stay positive?
One of the biggest thing that keeps me positive is, I can say, religion as well. So in our religion, we believe that everything comes from the God, right? So the good, the bad, everything. So in the bad times, we have to be patient, and in the good times, we have to stay humble. And these are the two things which I try to do whenever I have bad times. I try to stay very patient, and believe me, it's the most difficult. It's easier said than done. It's very difficult, but when you keep practicing it, it then becomes part of your routine. So whenever I have a bad time, I just try to calm myself down, stay positive, think about the good things I have done. That helps. And then when you think about the good things you have done, your body automatically responds better. Even during the game, when you said, right, so it's always inside the ropes, like the ground, it's always pressure. No, I think if you ask any international player, there is always pressure, like pressure of performance, pressure of that fear of failure and stuff. So it is always there. But again, you have to be, you have to believe in your hard work you did, the practice you have done, and all those things then keeps you positive. So that positive energy does came within yourself. Right. You have to keep telling yourself that you have done it, you have to do it again, you can do it again. So it is part of the sports, I think.
Right. And you seem like you have a strong, rock-solid mindset, but if you had to choose one, what would be like a mental weakness that maybe you've had to overcome in your career, or maybe something that you're still dealing with, and how do you deal with it?
When I did my first class debut in 2015, the very next 2 seasons, I used to be performing on top from my district, but I didn't get any first class game in the next 2 seasons. So at that time, that was one of the difficult times I had, because I was performing and I was not getting my chances. And then when I came back in 2018, so it was that 2018 season was the one where I scored good amount of runs in first class cricket. Like that was my comeback season. I scored 100 in my first class game I played in that season. And the very next year again, I got dropped from that red ball season I told you. And then my like talking to my family and all sort of stuff helped me working hard. And then again when I played for Pakistan and PSL, the very next season again I got dropped from from even the my domestic side. Over my career, I have faced these things in a loop, and I think that's what made me mentally very strong. So right now I can say, like, if you asked me 5 years before, no, I was not at that level. But now I think I have become mentally very strong because all of these things happened in my career. And even last year, like going unpicked, when I didn't got picked, everyone was like coming to me and feeling bad for me, and I was the one who was smiling. I was like, no worries, man. This has happened to me a lot.
Right.
And I knew one thing, that if there is one more spot available, I told them that I'll get that spot and I'll get to play, inshallah. And then it happened. I actually played.
Do you have any tips to bounce back? Because a lot of athletes, if they were cut from a team or didn't get drafted, they might have just quit and just stopped playing. How do you keep going?
In our religion, as Muslim, we believe that if you work hard, you will get the results for it, right? No matter early, late. And one thing I noticed as well is, like, whenever I have worked really hard, there has been this phase in between where you have to show patience, and then when you get it in abundance, right? So sometimes people work really hard, but when then they don't get results, like just after working hard, they quit. But that is that time, like that phase where you have to be patient and keep working hard. It might be a month, it might be a one whole season, it might be couple of seasons, but believe me, like when you keep working hard, when it comes to you, then you go long. Like it's then you perform well, because when you work hard, keep working hard, waiting for your opportunity, your hunger becomes greater, and then when you get it, you just go all in. And I have seen a lot of sportsmen, a lot of athletes who quit in that patience phase where you have to be patient. And I think one message for all of them is just to keep patience after you work really hard. There's always this phase where you have to be patient. Like there is this test. One test is of you if you either work hard or not, and the other test is if you stay patient or not. If you pass those two tests, I think it's your time then.
That's some great advice right there. So you've given us great insight. So now we can get into the final five. These are the final five questions I like to ask every athlete. So the first question is, what's a misconception about being a professional athlete?
I think all the sports, if you take all the sports, physically it might be, some sports might be less tough, some sports might be very tough, but mentally all of them are at the same level. Like it's tough. The misconception about it is, like, people play sports for fun, right? They don't realize that when people play it professionally, there is a lot of expectations, a lot of others, like pressures that is with it. So people sometimes make fun of the athletes, which like on the base of their performances, but they don't realize that athletes are very sensitive. Because they work really hard for what they do, and if you mock them or if you joke around their profession, like whatever they do, it hits them really hard. It hurts them really hard, and it happens a lot. Like it happens almost to every sportsman, because nowadays it's a time of social media, right? Everyone can just type anything. So if someone is already going through mental pressures, and you add some more by saying some bad things or joke around about their sports, it kind of demoralizes them even more. And a lot of athletes struggle because of that. I think you have talked to a lot of them, so you must know that. So there's misconception about being tough, strong guys. So we are not that tough. We also are human beings, and we are actually going through a lot more than you are.
Right.
So be good to us.
Yeah, be nice to some athletes. All right, and then what's a memory that at the time felt like the worst of your career, but now you can look back at it and laugh? So maybe it's a worst failure, a worst embarrassing moment, worst environment you played in, or something like that.
So before coming to the US, I told you about that one season where I didn't got picked. So a season before that, where I just came from performing for Pakistan emerging team, and then coming back to my domestic team, and I felt that in that season I was not treated right. Like I got demoted from the first 11 to the second 11 after just 3 games, and in the second 11, after a couple of games, I didn't even get to play, and then after that, the very next season I got out. So that period of where I was almost going to play for Pakistan international team, and from there within the next 6 months I was not even playing for the second 11 of my domestic team, right? So that was kind of a shock for me because my expectations from that season was I'm going to end up playing for Pakistan in the international series coming in. I think Zimbabwe was coming to Pakistan that season. And then when Zimbabwe was here in Pakistan, I was not even playing for the second 11 of my domestic side. So that was like one of the worst time I had those, and it was COVID as well. So we were just in a biosecure bubble. We would just go to ground, come back to the room, and that was our routine for 3 months. And it was like, you can say, mentally the most tough period I have been in. I wanted to express a lot, but there was no one to express it because not a lot of people understand you. Again, that misconception of, I told you, like people think you must be very tough. But I think that was the worst. And then the next year when I didn't got picked, so I came to the US and now I'm doing good. So I think that maybe if I would have played, I might not have been sitting here. I might still have been in Pakistan. And you never know the loop I was in, playing at higher level and then getting back again. So I might have been still stuck there. So I think everything happens for something good. So now when I see it, it was difficult, but I went through it. It made me mentally so strong that even last year when I didn't got picked in MLC, it was very normal for me. To be honest, like it was really really normal for me. Like I didn't feel anything like, oh, what happened, because I have been even through even worse. So that was the moment, I guess.
Now, what's the best memory? What's the best memory of your career throughout your whole career?
I think one of the best is that man of the match on debut for representing your country in at any level, right? That was the best. I told you when I had that man of the match and I went back to the dressing room, I was literally crying out of joy. That it was a dream come true moment for me, and the way it happened, like I was down and then I performed well, and then I went to the team and then I performed well, and that was the best. And then the second best I can say is last year in Major League when I then got picked and then came back, and then in the first game I got 4 wickets. So that was another best moment of my life. These were the two like top, yeah.
And what's some advice to some athletes, young athletes that want to be in your position? They want to be professional cricket players like you. What's some advice you can give them?
Keep working hard and love the sports you play. I think I have seen in United States there are a lot of young kids who are very passionate about the cricket. That reminds me of myself as well when I was young. I used to be that passionate. I have seen a couple of kids who, if you leave them in the indoor academy, they can stay there for the whole day. So I was like that as well. So that's good. Like passion is there. Passion is the first thing. Then you have to work really hard. Even if you are very talented, you still have to work hard because professional cricket or professional sports, even if you choke for one season, don't work hard and take it for granted, you go down like 3-4 levels, right? So you have to keep up to it. You have to maintain your hard work and practice and all these things. So keep working hard and keep believing in yourself. If it is supposed to happen, it will happen. But you have to work hard to get it. You're not going to get it sitting in home, right? So you have to go out and practice and work hard for it.
Last question, how do you define the word winner? So not anyone else's definition of the word winner, but after a match, whether you actually won or lost the match, how do you tell yourself you won in that match?
But if I know I have bowled according to my plan, according to the plan given to me, or as I was expecting myself to bowl, that's winning for me, irrelevant of the results. But if I have not bowled well, even if you win the game, that satisfaction doesn't come. So it's kind of a game within a game. So I every game I kind of fight against myself. I need to do better than last time. That's my mentality of going into a game. But because cricket is a team game, so when you win as a team, we celebrate it as a team. And then when we lose, we take it as a team. Like it's never been, oh, if we lose, someone will say, oh, it's because of you, or it's because of you, or someone will feel it's because of me. No, we take it as a team. And that's the beauty of this franchise, Texas Super King. We celebrate every win, and then we take every lose and learn from it as a team, and then try to come back stronger. We always take it as like one game at a time. So we focus on the next game at like just one game at a time and try to do best in that. And then whatever happens, if we win it, we celebrate and then keep it, behind. If we lose, we take from it, we keep it aside again, on to the next one game at a time. And then once you reach that playoff or finals, that's where like it's the one-off game which can go anywhere. So then you go all in. If you get it, we celebrated it, and if even if you don't get it, again learn from it, focus on the next one.